All right, I got linked this like about 1,000 times just now, but I thought it was for something else, and I kept ignoring it, and they kept linking it. So thank you for being persistent, guys, in chat. John Crew posted yesterday. I hadn't seen this. Upcoming ship and vehicle loadout changes. Let me go to this window so it's a little easier to see. Hi all, as a part of the ongoing development of vehicle systems, particularly with resource network and engineering gameplay on the horizon, we've taken the opportunity to look across all of our current vehicles in-game and revisit some of them in terms of both default item size and quantity. Reviewing both player feedback as well as analytics on usage and performance, it was clear that some ships and vehicles were underperforming and needed adjustments. Some vehicles were adjusted to bring them in line with others, which means nerfing them, to ensure competitiveness, and some were adjusted because they simply had an abundance of power output that wasn't necessary anymore. You may have noticed recent vehicle promotions and releases have strayed away from the typical 1 to 2 power plants, coolers, shield generators to higher numbers, such as the Zeus and Retaliator having 4 to 6 shield generators. And just in general, from playing the engineering gameplay mode on Arena Commander, you're gonna want what's the word? Redundancy, maybe, right? Because if one of these shield generators go out, your shields will hopefully stay up. So that I was thinking that as well. The more, the better in these situations. So you're able to repair one, and then the next one's being damaged, maybe, and so on and so forth, right? So I think that would be nice. In addition to the changes below, you can also expect handling and health changes to some vehicles to make sure they do not stray too far from their intended design behavior. The Redeemer, for example, will get a buff in flight handling to compensate for the reduced shields and weaponry. I feel like they, just based on what he said, they just killed the Redeemer. The following are the new default size amounts for the specified items types per ship. For example, if something now says 1x size 2 power plant, that means now it only has a single size 2 power plant rather than gaining additional size 2 on top of its current loadout. The weapon changes are specifically listed for relevant hard points. All right. The Reclaimer gets 1 size 4 cooler and 1 size 4 shield generator. Okay. So before we freak out here, well, me, because it's a capital class shield, what did it have before? I would love to know what it used to have. So maybe what we should do is bring up Urkel. Or what I could do is overlay Urkel in the top left of the screen here. That's what I'll do. It's going to be really small, so you might not be able to read it. Or I can do something like this, and I can rotate back and forth. Like this. Okay, that's what we'll do. Aegis. Excuse me, not Redeemer, Reclaimer. Currently has, and we already know because you guys told me, but shields currently has 3x size 3s. So how does 1 size 4 compare to 3 size 3s? We'll have to see. Currently, that gives us 300k HP of shields. What does 1 do? Not sure. Cooler-wise, it had 3 size 3 coolers. I wonder why it's zoomed in that way. Let me see if I can adjust that here. I think I know. what the problem might be. There you go. Size 4 can be over 1 million HP, right? Like the Idris? Not sure. Yeah, so let's check the 890 jump stats. And see what we find out here. Origin, 890 jump. Scroll down to shields. 700,000. So we're shield tanked. Like we're much tankier now. Possibly. What we don't know is if they're adjusting the values here as well, right? So that's a buff, not a nerf. All right. Next, Redeemer, 6 size 2 shields, and the man turrets are now 2 times size 4. I believe this is a nerf, from what people are saying, because they used to be size 5, if I'm not mistaken, right? Aegis, Redeemer. So that's size 4. Man turret, 2 times size 5. Those were the ADBs. They've been removed. Oh, this thing comes with a crossfield? Badass. Shield-wise, it had 2 times size 3. Now it has 6 times size 2. So let's go to something that we know has a size 2 shield. Off the top of my head, I'm thinking Drake Cutlass. That has 6,000 HP per shield. What did the Redeemers just say? $100,000. So now it's 6K times, this is 200,000 total, 6K times, no, 9, what was it? I can't remember what it had before. 6K times 6, so 36,000. So huge nerf. What we don't know is armor strength, like hull strength. That's what we don't know. So if they're doing anything like Eve does, some ships or some factions of ship, some will be very good at shield strength and some will be very good at hull strength, right? Some will be resistant to some things, others will be resistant to other things. So they could be doing that. So let's, I wouldn't freak out just yet. But there's shield tank versus hull tank and stuff like that. They might be doing a little something like this. Hard to say. Vanguard gets 1 medium power plant. I don't think we need to really look into this too much. Simply because what the fuck is medium? And the Sentinel gets 2, and these are likely because of what they said earlier. Just gets too much power, and it didn't need it. The Gladiator, nobody flies that. Hurricane gets more power plants or less. Excuse me. Argo Mole, what did it have before? I think, again, I'm an industry-focused person, so yell at me if I'm being too focused on Argo. So these had 2 size 2s, 12K, versus 100K shield tank now. Right? Argo Raft, what did Argo Raft have versus what it has now? Argo Raft had 2 size 2, now it has 3 size 2. The Mustang Gamma and Omega had 2 size 1s. Now it has 1 size 1. All right, here we go. Crusader C2 and M2. They have 2x size 3 shields, which we'll show you here. Boom. Strongholds. Now, what did they have power plant-wise? Let's bring that back up. It had 1 power plant. Now it has 2 power plants. The redundancy is probably coming out of the play testing, because the power plant went out, you were toast, it was over. Now, maybe not, right? So that's my guess there. A2 gets 3 size 3 shields. I'm assuming it had the same shields as before. Let's double check. Yeah, it had 2 size 3s full blocks before. Now it has 3 size 3s. Crusader Star Runner previously had 2 size 2s, the Aspis, for 12K. Now gets 1 size 3, which, as we know right now, has 100K. The Drake Caterpillar. So it looks like what they're doing is taking industrial ships and making them very, very health heavy. Drake Caterpillar had 2 size 3 shields before. It now has 3 size 3s. There's your 2 size 3s on the screen, 3 size 3s. We don't truly know what this means yet, but that's where we're at. All right, Drake Buccaneer. This is a combat-focused thing. What's up with the Buccaneer? It looks like a nerf to me. Yep, it is. Drake Buccaneer previously had 2 size 1 shields. It now has 1 size 1 shield. That is taking it down and making it even more paper than it was before. Drake Vulture. 3 size 1 shield generators. I fly this enough. I believe it had 2 size 1s before. Let's double check. Yes, it had 2 size 1s previously. There they are, the Bulwarks. All freelancers are going from 2, or hold on. Misk Freelancer is getting a what? Oh, maybe some of them have different loadouts. So this is the regular Freelancer, M5A Chamalis. 3 of them, 3 size 2. That's what it says there. Other ones may have had different loadouts, so let's take a look. That must be what we're dealing with here. Misk, let's go. Freelancer Dur. Nope. Same. This might just be like a misprint or something. Freelancer Max. Same. Freelancer Miss. Same. So the 3 size 2 shield generators remains the same. Not really sure why that was mentioned here, but the power plants also are the same. So not quite sure what's going on there. The man turret is going from size 2 turrets to size 3 turrets. That is a buff. Miss Call A gets 1 size 2 shield generator. Okay. That's a buff. From 2 size 1s. So there you go, Bulwarks. So from 3K to 6K, that's a doubling as far as we're aware. And then the Hull C is getting 4 size 3 shields for 400k. What it previously had, let's take a peek. 2 size 3s. So doubling the shield tank of it. And power plants, it previously had 1, but I think to deal with these shields, they needed to add another. Then let's take a look at the Prospector. I think what they're making is they're making these ships possibly survivable. The Misk Prospector previously had 1 Bulwark for 1,500 HP, now has 3 for a total of 4,500 HP. Again, it's not going to do too much, but it's definitely going to do more than what we had. So it's nice to see industrial ships getting a little bit of tank because they have no offense. So now they have some defense. And I think you know, hey, PvPers out there, let me know, or pirates out there, let me know if you like this or hate this. To me, on my side of the fence is I love this. It gives me a chance to survive where currently if you get caught, you're dead, right? You're dead and there's nothing you can do about it. This gives you a little bit of a chance to call in friends, maybe one day if that's a little bit faster, or get out. So we'll see. Starfarer gets 3 size 3 shield generators. What did it have before? It only had 1. So a huge buff to the Starfarer. 400i, does anyone care? I just hate Origin ships. Let's see the 400i. Previously had 1 size 3 shield. It appears to still have that. Power plants had 3 size 1s, or 3 size 2s, now has 1 size 2. And has 1 size 2 cooler from 3 size 2 coolers. Again, might have just been overboard here. And that's why they took that down. I don't consider that a nerf yet because we don't really know what it means. RSI Constellation is the next thing I'm seeing of relevancy. And I believe we went from man turrets that were size 2 to man turrets that are now size 3. So, okay. And the M50, we'll take a quick look at the M50. There it is. I was like, I cannot find this thing. It had 2 size 1 shields. Now it has 1 size 1 shield. Because why should it have shields? We do not know when this change is going into play. I don't believe it was mentioned. I think they're getting ahead of things here. My guess would be 4.0. But a very interesting post. And, yeah, I hate this game more every day. What about what you're reading here is raging you? I'm not sure what rage is building from this. Everything I read seems pretty good. If you look at the reactions, everybody seems pretty okay with it. I also seem okay with it. And I don't think every ship is included here. F7A remains dominant, all is well. Yeah, maybe that's what people are upset about, is that's the ship that needed the most work. But that was built in line with these changes, I believe, which is why it's so dominant, possibly. And again, the thing that I've pointed out over and over again is we're not sure what hull health, Maelstrom, or, like damage reduction from certain shields and things like that. We're not sure. We don't have the whole picture here, which is why I'm not sure. I think they're putting the cart in front of the horse like they always do, and I think they're trying to get ahead of hate but I think they're going to create it because players are unsure what any of this truly means. Like, for example, I said throughout the video 100 times, this is going from 6k HP shield health to 100k HP shield health. I could be totally fucking wrong. Who knows, right? I could be completely wrong here. Oh, Valkyrie I skipped. I never saw the Valkyrie. Let's take a peek at that. Because the Valkyrie has largely not been a viable ship in any meta ever. Currently has 2 size 2 shields for 12k HP. Now is going to have 4 size 2 shields for 24k HP. And remote wing turrets were size 3 weapons. Now are size 4 weapons. Good, bad, not sure. Right? We'll show you Urkel so you guys can see it. Will that bring it into the meta? I don't know. Honestly, these fucking garbage door guns are the things that I think prevent them from being in the meta as well. Right? If your side doors can actually kill a ship, that might be better. But, yeah. It's a drop ship. Yeah, it can use some tank, but does it need a size 3 shield? I don't know, right? Those are all those things that we'll have to think about. And pretty big change, pretty wild. I don't know exactly what to think about this stuff, but it is certainly something. And I look forward to Resource Network and seeing how all this plays out. But again, I think we need to know what ship health means going forward and what happens when you don't hit the shields anymore. What happens when you hit components? And yeah, I think we need to learn a lot more and play a lot more with it before we freak out. What happened to ship armor? It's just not mentioned in this post, right? So they're getting ahead of the component changes, but since we're missing information about ship armor, ship health, hull health, any of that stuff and how it plays out, we definitely have incomplete information here. So a lot of these changes appear to make sense if you look at them from more high level and go, okay, it seems like they want to make industrial ships more tanky. It seems like they want to make racing ships less tanky and more dangerous for, crashing and things like that, and go from there. But it's very hard to tell for right now, and yeah, I think it's just something interesting to take a look at, but I wouldn't put too much weight on this at the moment because, again, they're giving you incomplete information and everyone's probably going to freak out as they always do. But I don't think we should. I think just look at it as it's kind of sharing what their intentions are, and we'll have to see. Right? And that's about where we're at the moment.